Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt who the most powerful person was, without them saying a single word? They didn't speak, they didn't need to. But somehow every head turned. Their presence was heavy, magnetic, almost intimidating. Now here's the real question. What if that person could be you? What if you could walk into a room and people automatically adjusted their tone, straightened their posture, and thought twice before crossing you, all without you opening your mouth? Sounds like a superpower, right? But it's not magic. It's not about being physically intimidating or loud. In fact, it's usually the quietest ones who carry the most influence. So, why do some people naturally command respect, even fear, while others constantly have to demand it and still get ignored? Why does one person's silence speak louder than someone else's shouting? And more importantly, how can you master that? If you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or disrespected, this video is going to give you something powerful. We're diving deep, not into fake confidence, not into manipulation tactics, but into real grounded ways to command fear and respect without saying a word. This isn't just about body language or posture. This is about presence, psychology, energy, the kind of silent influence that reshapes how people see you. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to walk into any space and have the room feel it. So sit back, lock in. This is going to change the way you move through the world. Chapter 1. The Silent Power of Presence. Let's start here, because everything begins with presence. And I'm not talking about being physically present. I'm talking about that aura some people have, that thing you can't describe, but you feel it. When they enter a room, something shifts. People notice, people get quiet, people watch. Presence is not about being seen, it's about being felt. Think of it like this. You know how a lion doesn't need to roar for the jungle to know it's there. It just walks, it just exists, and everything around it becomes alert. That's the energy we're talking about. So the question is, how do you build that? How do you make people feel your presence before you even speak? Let me give you 3 powerful, subtle foundations of presence. Under stillness over noise. Most people try to prove their power by being loud, animated, or overly social. But silence, intentional stillness, is where real power lives. Stillness makes people pay attention. Have you noticed how uncomfortable people get around silence? Most rush to fill it with words, laughter, or movement. But the one who can hold silence calmly is the one everyone watches, because they're not seeking attention, and that's exactly why they get it. Here's something psychological. When someone doesn't feel the need to speak, our brains interpret that as confidence. It says, they must know something I don't, and just like that, respect begins. So ask yourself, do you lead with noise, or do you lead with control? 2. Controlled energy. You don't have to be aggressive to be respected, but you do need to control the energy around you. Have you ever seen someone walk slowly, deliberately, like every step was intentional? It's hypnotic. Now contrast that with someone rushing, fidgeting, constantly moving. They give off anxiety. The person who moves with calm intention commands the room. Their energy feels stable, and we trust stability. Slow movements, calm eyes, relaxed posture. These are all signals of internal power. Try this. Next time you enter a room, walk slower than usual. Stand still for a moment before moving. Say nothing. Just let people feel you. It sounds simple, but it shifts everything. Do you lead with noise, or do you lead with control? 2. Controlled energy. You don't have to be aggressive to be respected, but you do need to control the energy around you. Have you ever seen someone walk slowly, deliberately, like every step was intentional? It's hypnotic. Now contrast that with someone rushing, fidgeting, constantly moving. They give off anxiety. The person who moves with calm intention commands the room. Their energy feels stable, And we trust stability, slow movements, calm eyes, relaxed posture. These are all signals of internal power. Try this. Next time you enter a room, walk slower than usual. Stand still for a moment before moving. Say nothing, just let people feel you. It sounds simple, but it shifts everything. 3. Eye contact that doesn't flinch. Eyes say everything. You don't need to glare. You don't need to intimidate. But you do need to look directly at people with calm confidence. The one who can hold eye contact without looking away, without fidgeting. That's the one who owns the room. And it's not about dominance, it's about grounded presence. The eyes tell people, I see you, I'm not afraid of being seen, and I don't need your approval. That right there, that's respect without a word. Let me ask you this. When you walk into a room, do people feel you, not just notice you, feel you? If not, presence is where you start, because once you master that silent energy, you won't have to chase respect. It'll start following you. Chapter 2. Mastering Body Language that Commands Authority. Let's get real about something. Before you say a single word, your body has already spoken a full paragraph. People are sizing you up constantly, consciously and subconsciously, and your body is sending signals whether you like it or not. So the key question is, what is your body saying about you when you're not speaking? Because if you want to command fear and respect, your body language has to match that silent power. You can't be saying, don't mess with me, in your head while your posture screams, I hope no one notices me. You ever notice how animals instantly detect weakness? It's the same with people. The way you stand, sit, walk, it all speaks volumes. So let's break down what powerful body language actually looks like. 1. The alpha posture. We're not talking about puffing your chest out or acting like a tough guy. That's insecurity pretending to be dominance. True power is calm, relaxed, in control. And it all starts with posture. Head held level, not up in arrogance, not down in submission. Shoulders back, not forced, just naturally rolled open, chest open, not guarded, feet firmly planted, not shifting weight, not turning away from people. This posture says, I belong here, I'm not hiding, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just rooted. Think about the difference between someone who walks into a room, head down, shoulders hunched, phone in hand, versus someone who walks in, looks around slowly, and just stands tall. Who do you instinctively take more seriously? 2. The power of stillness. Again. Yep, stillness shows up again here. Fidgeting, scratching, constantly adjusting your clothes, touching your face. These are nervous habits that scream insecurity. But the person who can stay still, who can sit, with their hands relaxed, their back straight, their face calm, that person gets watched. That person owns attention. The brain is wired to detect threats or authority by motion. That's why stillness can be even more intimidating than big movements. It's like your presence becomes dense, heavy, focused. Try this. Next time you're in a group setting, challenge yourself to reduce movement. Sit back, make deliberate gestures, and watch how people start tuning into you without even realizing why. 3. Intentional gestures. When you do move, do it deliberately. Use your hands to communicate, but only when necessary. Nothing should feel frantic or rushed. Keep your hands visible, never hidden. Hidden hands make people uneasy. Open palms and slow gestures subconsciously signal honesty and strength. You can even use subtle mirroring, copying someone else's body language just slightly to build silent rapport. It's subconscious, but it builds connection and subtly shifts power in your direction. And here's a tip most people miss. Take up space. Don't shrink yourself. Whether you're sitting or standing, spread out just enough to signal comfort and authority. You're not invading, you're occupying. The difference is confidence. 4. Your face is the message. Your facial expressions are like subtitles. If your words or silence don't match your face, people won't believe you. Want to look powerful without being aggressive? Practice a calm, relaxed expression. Slight. Squint in the eyes, neutral lips, not smiling all the time, not frowning, just that unreadable, thoughtful look that says, I'm observing, processing. Not here for small talk. Think of every powerful movie character you admire. They're not grinning constantly. They hold a calm, unreadable expression that makes others wonder what's going on in their head. And curiosity is power. 5. Walk like you know where you're going. It's simple, but people overlook this. Your walk says everything about how you see yourself. So, don't rush. Don't shuffle. Don't look down at your feet. Keep your chin neutral and your gaze forward. Take up space as you move. Let each step be grounded, and remember, you're not in a hurry. People with power don't run around trying to prove they belong. Let me ask you this. When someone sees you walk into a room, what do you think their first thought is? Do they see someone who blends in, or someone who shifts the entire vibe? If your body language is giving away your power before you speak, it's time to take it back. Chapter 3. The unshakable mindset that silently dominates every room. Let's be honest. None of the tricks, tactics, or techniques we just talked about will work for long if the mind behind them is shaky. You can fake confidence for a minute, maybe 2, but people will always feel the truth you're carrying deep down. So here's the raw truth. If you want to command fear and respect without saying a word, you've got to build a mindset that doesn't need to speak. That means cultivating inner power so strong it leaks out of you. Let's break it down. 1. Kill the need for validation. The strongest person in the room is the one who doesn't care if anyone knows it. Insecure people crave reactions. They want to be liked. They want applause. They want to be seen. And that need makes them weak. But true power comes from being okay with not being liked. It's knowing who you are, even when no one else claps for it. The moment you stop needing people to agree with you, respect you, or understand you, something strange happens. They start doing it anyway. Why? Because people respect someone who doesn't chase approval. Have you ever met someone who didn't try to impress anyone? And that's exactly why they were impressive. That's the mindset. You don't ask for attention. You don't chase recognition. You just exist, unbothered, unapologetic. And that unsettles people in a good way. 2. Develop mental stillness. We talked about physical stillness. Now let's go deeper. Mental stillness is about not being reactive. When someone provokes you, do you flinch? When a room goes silent, do you fill the gap? When you feel judged, do you start explaining? Reactions give away your power every time. But when your mind is still, when you don't feel the urge to react, you become dangerous. Why? Because people can't read you. They can't control you, and they start second-guessing their own moves. It's a psychological advantage that silence brings. Silence that's not awkward, but intentional. That quiet confidence that says, I've already figured you out, I just don't need to say it. People fear what they can't predict. People respect what they can't control. 3. Emotional discipline. Silent authority. Ever watched someone lose it, blow up, get rattled? Now think of someone who keeps their cool under pressure, who stays calm when everyone else is panicking. Who's more powerful? Exactly. The more emotionally stable you are, the more people trust and fear you. It's not about being robotic, it's about being grounded. When someone gossips about you and you don't flinch, when someone disrespects you and you don't bark back, you handle it with ice in your veins. That's real power. The one who can hold their emotions rules the room every time. So the question is, what triggers still control you? Because until you master those, someone else is quietly pulling your strings. 4. Embrace the power of mystery. Want to instantly shift the power dynamic in your favor? Stop explaining yourself so much. Don't tell everyone what you're thinking. Don't narrate your every move. Keep 80% of your thoughts to yourself and only share when necessary. Mystery creates gravity. People are pulled toward what they can't fully understand. You ever been around someone who's hard to read, doesn't overshare, doesn't need to prove themselves? You find yourself leaning in, wanting to know more. That's the power of withholding. So stop posting everything. Stop venting to everyone. Stop showing your entire hand. Start letting silence be your presence. Let people wonder. 5. See yourself as the prize. This isn't arrogance, it's awareness. If you don't see your own value, people will treat you like you have none. But when you truly believe you're the prize without ever needing to say it, everything shifts. You walk differently, you stand differently, you respond differently. You stop chasing people. You stop trying to be accepted. You start setting the tone instead of reacting to it. Think about it. Why do kings and queens command respect? Because they don't seek it. They expect it. And not because they're loud, but because their presence demands it. So ask yourself this: do you walk into the room like you belong, or like you're hoping to be allowed in? That's a mindset shift you can't fake. But once it clicks, you never go back. You're starting to see how all of this connects now, right? It's not just about how you look, it's about how you see yourself. When you truly master this inner world, you become untouchable in the outer one. Chapter 4. The Art of Silent Influence. How to make people move without opening your mouth. There's something almost eerie about someone who can walk into a room and change the atmosphere without saying a word. They don't need to raise their voice. They don't need to sell themselves. They don't even need to make a statement. They are the statement. But how? How do you influence people silently, without pressure, without pleading, without pretending? This chapter is about becoming that kind of person, the kind that others watch, the kind they mirror, the kind they follow without even knowing why. When your energy enters. First, have you ever noticed that some people enter a room and everyone turns? They're not yelling, they're not flashy, but something about their presence just demands attention. That's not luck, that's energy. See, your energy enters before you do. Your presence is either loud or forgettable, even when you're quiet. So the question is, what are you radiating before you speak? Are you projecting tension, insecurity, chaos, or are you walking in grounded, still, self-contained? People feel you before they hear you. So if your energy screams needy, nervous, lost, you're losing influence before the first word drops. But when your energy says, I'm good, whether you approve of me or not, that pulls people in. That's magnetic. It's not about faking coolness. It's about embodying peace so deeply that others feel safer just standing next to you. 2. The power of deliberate movements. Every gesture speaks. Every pause says something. And silence? Silence is often louder than speech. You ever notice how powerful people move? They don't fidget. They don't rush. They don't fill empty space with noise. Their movements are deliberate. Their eyes don't dart. They hold focus. Their hands don't flap. They rest, still, composed. This quiet control is intimidating to those who are chaotic inside and calming to tea. Watch a lion in the wild. It doesn't panic. It doesn't sprint just because it can. It moves with purpose, with calm, with full belief in its power. Be that lion. Because when you move with certainty, people subconsciously register, this person isn't afraid. This person is in control. This person knows something I don't. That's silent influence. 3. The gaze that commands. Let's talk about eye contact, one of the most powerful tools of influence, when used correctly. There's a difference between staring and owning the room with your gaze. Have you ever locked eyes with someone and just knew they were in charge without them having to say it? That's intentional eye contact. It's about presence, not intimidation. Look people in the eye, not to dominate but to anchor. Hold their attention calmly. Don't be the first to look away. Don't look around nervously. Don't scan for approval. When you look someone in the eye without flinching, you're silently saying, "I'm not hiding. I'm not seeking. I'm just here and I see you." That makes people feel seen and also slightly vulnerable. It's subtle, psychological power, and it doesn't need a single word. 4. Emotional contagion. Your calm becomes their calm. People are emotional mirrors. They reflect what you project. So if you walk in tense, people tighten up. If you walk in calm, they breathe easier. If you walk in with quiet confidence, they feel it without knowing why. This is emotional contagion. Want to influence people without speaking? Start by managing your emotional state like a monk. If someone's panicking, don't match them. Lower your energy and watch them mirror it. If someone's trying to provoke, you stay steady. Don't give them the emotional rise they're fishing for. Your calm is control. It tells people, this person can handle pressure. This person doesn't get shaken easily. This person's presence makes things better. And here's the hidden truth. When people feel better around you, they'll fold. 5. Become a symbol, not just a person. This one's next level. You want to command fear and respect silently. Don't just be a person, be a symbol. What do I mean by that? Symbols don't need to speak. A crown doesn't beg to be noticed. A sword doesn't need to prove it's sharp. People project meaning onto symbols. They become bigger than themselves. So ask yourself, what do you represent when you walk into a room? Stillness, precision, discipline, mystery, unshakable. Strength? The more you live those qualities, the more you stop being just another person and start becoming something people recognize, even in silence. That's how you become unforgettable. This is the kind of influence that doesn't fade when the room gets loud. It's the kind that deepens. People will feel something shift in your presence. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll respect it, and sometimes they'll fear it. That's silent command. That's power. And now that we've built the internal foundation and understood how to shift energy in a room, let's be real. Most people spend their lives trying to be heard, but the ones who truly command respect are the ones who don't need to speak at all. They walk into a room and shift the air. They don't chase validation. They don't beg to be seen. They are seen because their presence says everything. The truth is, power isn't always loud. Real authority is still. It's focused. It's calm. It's the storm that never needs to thunder to prove it's dangerous. If you want to command fear and respect without saying a word, it starts with mastering your inner world, controlling your body language, sharpening your energy, living with intention, and most importantly, being okay with silence. Because in silence, people listen the loudest. So here's the final question to leave you with. When you walk into a room, what does your silence say about you? Because if you master that, you won't need to demand respect. It'll already be yours.